Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha and welcome to Line of Sight, the exclusively Bacon Weekly News Roundup. And what a week it has been. We've had drama, legal issues, the FTC Loot Box investigation, AAA publishers trying their best to placate, and all sorts of nonsense. Also, I know last week I apologized for having fewer stories, but it actually looks like the overwhelming majority of respondents prefer there being fewer stories. So if there's only 3 or 4 stories in a video, I guess I'll stop sweating things so much and just roll with what works. Also, if you do enjoy this content, I know I stopped bringing this up for a couple of weeks, but saying something really does help quite a bit. So please don't forget to check out the website at exclusivelygames.com, link is in the description below. That said, let's just go ahead and dive into it. For this week, we have YouTuber SupMatto's channel endangered after 2K and Take-Two debacle. The AAA industry will be disclosing loot box drop percentages. And another FTC loot box story came out this week as it was determined that streamers have been offered payments for loot box streams and being granted higher odds of success during those loot box opening streams. Now that we're all queued up, let's get started. The story surrounding SupMatto is one that has been seemingly everywhere in YouTube circles throughout the course of the past week, and what a week it's been. As a result of all of the ongoing controversy, I've been forced to release no fewer than 3 videos just to keep people up to speed on what's been happening. So, as we are aware, here's the current timeline of events and an update on where the controversy currently stands. Gearbox released a video announcing a new Twitch integration with Borderlands 3. Within that video, Gearbox inadvertently showed the name of one of the Twitch accounts used for testing that plugin. This information was released on social media sites like Reddit and others. SupMatto and others stumbled upon this information and found the Twitch channels in question. That Twitch channel was also followed by all the other Twitch channels being used by Gearbox to test the new integration. SupMatto and others followed those Twitch accounts so they could receive notifications from Twitch as to when those accounts were live, and when those accounts were live, they were running private streams. However, due to how Twitch Mobile works, the live thumbnail would update with still images of the current live stream. SupMatto and others would then refresh their browsers and collect these images to leak information on Borderlands 3, such as this image that is on your screen now. On July 25th, 2 private investigators arrived claiming to be sent from Take-Two Interactive and interviewed SupMatto for a stated time frame of about 30 to 40 minutes. Within his video, SupMatto did state that these 2 PIs were trespassing, but he did say that he spoke to them willingly, which kind of quells any potential trespassing there. 20 minutes after the private investigators left, SupMatto's Discord server was shut down by Discord. Then, the following day, SupMatto received 7 copyright strikes, 6 of which were later reversed. SupMatto did speculate that YouTube might have intervened there, but it is all but certain that 2K reversed the 6 DMCA takedowns in question. SupMatto also voluntarily took down his Twitter account, and the stated reason for that was in order to avoid speculation on the part of viewers, which of course resulted in the exact opposite occurring. IGN then gathered some additional information from 2K regarding this issue, in which it stated that the leaks from SupMatto go well beyond the Twitch extension to 2018, including details on characters of game mechanics before Borderlands 3's official reveal. Although it is worth noting that the majority of that leaked information was SupMatto merely reiterating what was stated by other channels. IGN further states, quote, "We were told that it was an exploit in Twitch's security that allowed SupMatto's community to data mine their way into getting access to thumbnail previews on what were private test streams. However, that is a relatively inaccurate statement as no data mining occurred. In that article, a 2K representative said the information he's sharing about the situation is incomplete and in some cases untrue. Not only were many of his actions illegal, but they were negatively impacting the experience of other content creators and our fans in anticipation for the game." Since the July 25th encounter with the private investigators, SupMatto had reportedly deleted several videos containing leaked information, including several videos posted before the PAX East reveal of Borderlands 3. The IGN article also states that SupMatto allowed access to a private Discord channel that contained further leaked information in exchange for the $5 YouTube membership, which anecdotal information has been provided both to confirm and to refute that from members of the Discord, and in stated but not yet shown private messages from 2K to Inside Gaming. And since then, it was originally reported by Legacy Killa HD that 63 videos of SupMatto's had been hit with DMCA strikes. However, since then, the number has been increased to 112, and as a result, SupMatto's channel has been scheduled for deletion by YouTube. But this is still very much a live situation, as both myself and Legacy Killa HD have received still more information that has not yet been vetted or verified, but as soon as it has been, there will most certainly be more information coming down the pipe for everyone. And I know I try to leave my opinions out of these videos whenever possible, but whether he was in the right or in the wrong, I feel very strongly that SupMatto did not deserve to have his channel nuked by 2K Games, especially considering what a fan he was of the Borderlands series. As a YouTuber myself, I know quite well the stress, mental anxiety, and loss of income currently facing SupMatto over this, and I do not envy him in the slightest. Our next story is one that, while I myself am very much of two minds about it, is one that might actually be potentially beneficial for the gaming community. And yes, the topic once again surrounds loot boxes, and loot boxes in gaming, particularly the FTC Public Round Table on loot boxes, in what is being seen as a preemptive move on the part of platform holders via the Entertainment Software Association's Michael Wernicke. During that roundtable discussion, the ESA, of course, continued to defend loot boxes in video games in the broader sense, a move that would surprise no one, as the ESA is in fact the lobbyist arm for the AAA gaming industry. However, Michael Wernicke did have the following to say. Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony have indicated to the ESA a commitment to new platform policies with respect to the use of paid loot boxes in games that are developed for their platform. Specifically, this would apply to new games and game updates that add loot box features, and it would require the disclosure of the relative rarity or probabilities of obtaining randomized virtual items in games available on their platforms. And per GameSpot, the following games industry corporations had the following comments. Capcom will continue to comply with industry standard practices such as disclosures for in-game purchases labels on packaging. Furthermore, to clarify, Capcom does not currently have console games that support purchasable loot boxes offering in-game virtual items, but will continue to monitor standards for potential policies in the future. Electronic Arts. We applaud the new initiative from console makers and publishers to provide more information to players. Beginning last year, we introduced probability disclosures where applicable in all our new games across all platforms, and will continue to provide this information to help our players as we move forward. Epic Games. Earlier this year, the Fortnite Save the World team made a change that showed players every item that they would get in a paid llama before opening it. Earlier this week, the team at Psyonix announced a similar change coming later this year to paid crates in Rocket League. Going forward, we're committed to the same transparency for player purchases in all Epic Games titles. And THQ Nordic also gave my personal favorite response out of the whole list. Yes, I know I'm letting my opinion show again, just roll with it. THQ Nordic have not made a commitment on loot box odds disclosure because A, we have not been asked by the ESA Government Affairs Office for a statement ahead of their publication, B, we currently do not have a single game with loot box mechanics published, and C, we do not plan to implement casino-style mechanics in our games. And while this will not end loot boxes, it will also not end the discussion on loot boxes, while at the same time, this will at least help provide more information to gamers, which, while more information does not resolve the underlying issue, it also doesn't hurt to have it nevertheless. Now, our next story is one that I've seen some traditional media discussing, but not many YouTube content creators talking about yet, which I personally found to be rather odd. It surrounds potential impropriety, however seldom, in regards to faking loot box openings through the use of higher odds. During the same FTC public workshop discussed in the previous story, Online Performers Group's CEO Omid Daryani was asked if game companies look for streamers to just do loot box opening videos and at times give them better odds when opening loot boxes on streams, to which Daryani responded with, companies do pay for that sort of thing. Per .esports.com, quote, according to Daryani, he's already heard a game publisher representative directly offering better odds for a streamer, but that was only once. In general, it's rare to even see companies trying to close a deal limited to only opening loot boxes, but we've definitely seen that. The Online Performance Group retains a stable of some of the largest YouTubers and Twitch streamers in the games industry, such as Angry Joe, Sam Strippin, Krindor, and Co Carnage, to name but a few. The online performance group itself serves as an intermediary for advertisers to engage with larger creators for sponsorship and advertising opportunities with the tagline, "Our clients are some of the most respected and highly sought-after content creators on their platforms. They are brand-friendly, charismatic, easy to work with, and cater to affluent, highly engaged millennial audiences." Now, it is very important to note that while those content creators were cited, there is a very clear distinction between offered and accepted, but Dariani did state that he had only seen that happen once, and that sponsorship for loot box openings are not a common occurrence to begin with. We have to be very specific here because I want to make certain there's no perception that any of the creators listed took that particular deal. However, this does raise very real concerns for some, especially riding off of the back of the controversy a few years ago with T. Martin and Pro Syndicate, where it was discovered those two owned CSGO Lotto and were advertising their gambling site to minors without disclosing their involvement, and there was also a high likelihood that they were also manipulating the odds on their streams in order to make the gambling site seem more attractive to their largely underage viewer base. Now, this sort of deal would have a similar effect, making loot boxes within a specific video game seem far more enticing to potentially impressionable viewers with a false impression of fabulous prizes to be won. Odds manipulation is nothing new in the games industry, and such things are why real-world gambling is thusly regulated. While the game is rigged so the house will always profit, those regulations help prevent casinos from making it so their patrons can never win. But that's all the time we have for you in this week's Line of Sight, so thank you so much for tuning in. Not quite as happy a news roundup as I would have preferred, but sometimes we have to take the bad along with the good. Not everything in the world is always sweetness and rainbows, but tomorrow is another day, and hopefully more positive news will be coming along soon. If you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to hear more from me and my opinions on these topics, you can do so by following me on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/SidAlpha. The uploads aren't daily, but I try my best to keep everyone informed and a soapbox whenever possible. This has been Line of Sight. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha, and I'll see you next time.